Okay, here we go. God, I just want to thank you for this team, Lord, and I want to thank you for this opportunity that we have to serve our church, even in the midst of being quarantined right now. I want to thank you for the opportunities that we have to um, uh, just to work and to continue to build your kingdom during this time. We want to pray for your wisdom as we lead. We want to pray for your strength to guide us, and that you'll give us all just the comfort that we need as we go along and continue to move forward. We love you. We ask this in your name. Amen. Okay. Well, I've got a few things I want to run through here, but first, I want to kind of debrief about this past week a little bit. How many of you watched, let's see here, how many of you watched last weekend's service? Just show of hands on the video there. Cool. Good. That's great. How many of you watched on the YouTube channel? A few of you. And on Facebook? And anybody watching the website? Okay, very good. Very good. Now, did most of you watch, how many of you watched right at 10:30? Okay. Okay, so all of you who've got video on. Very good. Very good. That's fantastic. How many of you watch the Thursday night what am I trying to say? Worship night. Okay. Did any of you watch it after the fact, or did most of you watch it at 7? How many watched at 7? Okay, and how many watched after the fact? Okay, very cool. That's great. That's great. I'm glad. Are you guys still finding this content helpful? Good. Fantastic. All right. Well, we will continue this week to create services, to create, of course, worship nights. We'll have that published and out this Thursday on April 2nd. Of course, we'll continue to do weekend services, and we'll continue to put out podcasts and just try to stay up with you guys and pour into you during this time. So this week, there are some big changes coming our way. And one of the big ones, I guess, that I should mention first is that we are going to change up the way we're doing our weekend services here. Today in our ministerial staff meeting this afternoon, we decided that it was going to be the wisest thing for us to completely quarantine for right now. We have been having people come in and record services, but we think that we're just kind of reading the times and think that it's probably time for us to go ahead and completely shut the building down. So after this week, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to shut everything completely down, at least until April 30th, or which are the most recent guidelines that we've been given. However, that won't change the pace of anything that we're doing. It's just going to change the way that we're doing it. So I want to give you what our plan looks like in order to accommodate all of that. First of all, this will happen. This closing the building is going to happen after this week. So we're spending this week getting caught up, or I guess getting ahead of the curve a little bit on Easter. Originally, we had planned to record Palm Sunday, which is this coming weekend. We'd originally planned to get the team together that's working on that service, record on Friday night in the sanctuary, and then publish that out on Sunday morning. We are still going to get a team together on Friday night to record. However, it's going to be, we're going to be recording Easter Sunday on Friday night instead of Palm Sunday. With Palm Sunday, what we're going to do for our services from now on, so Palm Sunday and then the Sunday after Easter. So Easter is going to be, it's going to be a little bit different. Easter is going to look like last weekend. Palm Sunday and then the Sunday after Easter will look like this new setup that I'm going to explain here. So for Palm Sunday, Tom is going to record the service at his house. He'll record the message, I should say, at his house, and then he'll upload that and we'll get it mixed into a video. We'll have some other of the pastors do some welcome spots and some and like the offertory and things like that. But then for the music portion of the service, what we're going to do, and I want to include as many of you as feel comfortable participating in this. But what we're going to do is we're going to do kind of a virtual worship band where Brendan and Jessica have been planning the services and putting things together. And anybody who's interested and who feels comfortable with the technology, basically what you'll do is you would record your part on video at your house, upload that to Dropbox, and then we'll mix it all together into one video, which would be the worship team for Sunday morning. We're going to do that for Sunday morning services. We're going to start doing that starting with next week's worship night for worship nights as well. And so for this week, what we have for April 5th. So let me put this out here for those of you who are serving April 5th. What we're going to do here so that we can kind of learn this process. This is brand new for all of us creating these types of videos. So we need a week to figure out the process. But what we're going to do is Brendan, Jessica, and I will do the music, and Dennis, I should say too. Brendan, Jessica, Dennis, and I will do the worship set for this coming weekend. What that does is it helps us learn the process of what we're doing. It helps us kind of make a few mistakes for this weekend and learn from them. And then moving forward, we can include more of you in that process. And of course, we can give some training on how to be a part of that. For those of you who are interested, basically, I'm going to set up one of these calls and share my screen and just kind of show you how you would participate using the technology that you have. So anyway, that's what we're going to do. I know it's brand new territory for us, and it's there are other folks who are doing this, but it's out of the box of what we typically do on a weekend. And so we're going to try it. Everybody cool with that? Okay. So I will send out, I'll probably tomorrow post in the Facebook group, and I'll include it with this video too. Whenever I email this video out, I'll include a link, or I'll include basically a questionnaire, and anybody who's interested in signing up, go ahead and sign up, and then we'll have a call kind of like this and talk about how to how to actually do the nuts and bolts of recording at home. And then we'll kind of schedule you out from there. We can only, of course, put so many people on one tiny screen so that it's, large enough for an iPhone, but that's kind of what we're looking at doing. So just to recap, that new structure, we're going to do it for this weekend. Easter Sunday will be more of our traditional setup shot in the sanctuary, which will be shot this Sunday, or I'm sorry, will be shot this Friday. And then the weekend after Easter, we'll go back to our complete remote setup moving forward. Okay, so let me talk about the team for Easter Sunday. We have made some changes to that to really just limit our numbers. We can only have 10 people in the building total, and that includes everybody working behind the scenes. That includes security in the lobby, things like that. So in order to limit that group, what we're doing, Randy C. Smith is going to run audio for this Friday. Alan is going to jump in on projection. Greg Collins is going to run camera one, and Tony is going to direct. So those four will be doing production behind the scenes. Excuse me. For the band, we're going to do, I'll play keys. Brendan's going to do cajon. Nate Bach is going to do acoustic and vocals and lead. And then Terry Feig is going to lead as well. All of those folks, they live close. Tony, I guess, doesn't live as close, but she was very eager to get some time to come in and just pour in. And I totally understand that. And I'm happy to have her come in and serve. So excited about that. But everybody else lives close to the church. And so that's what we're going to do to cover Easter for now. Yeah, makes sense so far. Anybody have any questions? I know that's a lot of info just to dump at you right now. Everybody good? Okay, good. Good. Okay, one other thing that I want to mention for this coming weekend's service. So this is Palm Sunday. I mentioned last week that we're going to be doing the Lord's Supper together. Well, one of the things I mentioned was that we would have individuals serving packs of the elements that you could stop by the church and pick up. That plan has changed in order to keep as many people out of the building and you know sheltering at home as they're supposed to. We're not going to do the individual packs. We're just going to encourage you to use anything you have as close as possible to the elements at home to participate with this. For those of you who want really close to the elements mentioned in scripture, Tom tomorrow in his weekly newsletter, he's going to, or in his Tuesday newsletter, I should say, he's going to include a link to a recipe for unleavened bread. So those of you who just really want to get hardcore and dive into this, there you go. That's how you can do it. If you want unfermented wine, if you want grape juice, if you have grapevines, I feel like just the mere fact that you have grapevines means you probably can figure it out from there. So just want to throw that out there to you. But if you need help, let me know. I'll shoot you a YouTube video or drop off some Welshes. Anywho, that's what you should know about how things are changing for this week. So that'll really take us through the end of April, and that's kind of where that's what we're planning to right now, because that's what we know for right now. And I know you guys understand that for sure. Okay, so next part, since nobody has any questions, I want to keep moving here. Next part, I want to mention resources for you guys to look out for and ways that we want to keep serving you. Number one, the virtual worship nights. Keep looking out for those. Those are going to come every Thursday night. We're going to publish those at 7:00 p.m. I'll put it on the FBMWorship Facebook group. I know they're going to be posting on the FB Maryville Facebook page, and we'll also be publishing those on the FBMWorship YouTube channel. So any of those places, you can catch it live at 7:00 p.m. every Thursday night. What was I going to say? Oh, yes. So the virtual worship nights, next week's for April 9th, that worship night will happen in conjunction with Monday, Thursday. So Monday, Thursday, Tom, he's going to record that. We're going to meet up on Wednesday, and he's going to record that in the chapel. So you will still have kind of the traditional, or at least the way that we do it, traditional Monday, Thursday service. And then following the service, Jessica's planning a 20 to 25 minute worship service to follow that. So you'll have Monday, Thursday, and all that you get to experience with that, and then 20 to 25 minutes worth of music. So I think that's going to be a really special service. So that'll be April 9th, 7:00 p.m. at our regular worship night time. So that's one thing that we're doing. The worship team podcasts, we're going to keep putting those out. We've got 2 episodes out. With all of these changes that came at us today, we didn't get another episode out to you guys, but we've got 2 that we're going to record this week. I've got the Ask Me Anything episode that I'm going to record, and then the team, we are tomorrow going to do a recording, and we're either going to do it over kind of like a big global how-to guide for in-ear monitors, or we're going to have a discussion about how to approach worship ministry as if you're a professional. How do you approach that, and why do you approach it from the standpoint of being a professional? So one of those 2 episodes we're going to be recording this week. So watch those drop. I've not actually picked a time when the worship team podcast is going to come out every week. I should probably do that. At this point, we're just recording episodes and getting them out there to you whenever we get them. So check us out on Apple Podcast or Stitcher or wherever you listen to podcasts. And we're also putting it on the YouTube channel as well for you guys. Another great resource, if you need more resources, some of you may be good, and you've got, kind of your rhythm for how you're continuing to feed yourself spiritually during this time. But another great resource that Tom puts out every day is called Daily Devo. It's another podcast. If you're not subscribed to that, go check that out on any of the podcasting platforms out there. And then we also have a podcast we launched back at the end of the Follow series, and it's called Time Alone with God. And that's a kind of a monthly-ish podcast that we've been putting out that is basically a resource to help you kind of structure and outline your prayer time. So if you need that, if that's something that's helpful to you, just go check out Time Alone with God, and that'll be helpful. And then the last one is Point Taken. Point Taken is another great resource that we do every single week. And this last week's episode was actually, it was about personal development. And we were, it's kind of an interesting tie-in to right now, because as we're all isolated, we have all of this time to continue to read and study and, invest in areas around that you can do at home, in areas that you might want to grow or develop. You might want to learn a new instrument, or learn a new language, or watch Tiger King on Facebook or on Netflix. That might be what you're into right now. Just kidding. But that's a great episode, and Tom gives some really good pointers there as far as that's concerned. So there you go. That's kind of all that we have as far as up-to-date information for you this week. What questions do you guys have?
How are you, Matt? You and Kelsey, how are you guys doing?
Well, you know what? We are doing fantastic. I'll let Kelsey answer too, but we're doing really well. We're having a lot of fun.
We're completely redoing the house. So
we are not completely redoing the house.
That's not what I heard.
Well, we are. I will say, I typically don't have a microphone set up in our kitchen. I don't know how all of you decorate your kitchen. That's not something typically that we have. So that's if that's completely redoing the house, then yes, we're completely redoing the house.
Well, I feel bad, Matt, because I was late. Had to get a kid showered and then cut one of the kids' hair last minute. So I don't know if when everybody else kind of taps out, if you don't mind kind of going over what I missed. I hate to have you repeat it, but I did what I could.
Oh, no, that's fine. In fact, this is recorded, so you can go back on the Facebook page.
That. Hello, sorry, It's been a crazy day.
That's okay. No worries.
Doing the homeschooling and everything, and Schoolology e-learning software was down all day, and assignments were due and tests, and having to email back about 18 teachers in total with 4 different kids. Yeah. Today.
It is a challenge. That's right. We're all finding fun new opportunities to grow right now, aren't we?
Well, and that's just it. Is the other thing is that I've never cut hair before, and I've already had to cut. Did a bunch of YouTube channels and cut 2 kids' hairs. I cut about 5+ inches off of Mia's hair.
Oh wow.
So.
Well, I think Jessica can cut remotely right now. I think she's doing digital cuts. Yeah, that's right.
I'll have to show her picture or send her pictures and see what she says.
Yeah, there you go.
So
cool. All right. Well, this week, as we did last week, we're going to be reaching out to you guys, just trying to stay in touch, and certainly don't want to be a nuisance at all, but we do whatever we can pray for you guys. Please let us know, because we're here to serve you. We're here to do whatever we can to make your lives easier, to give you some hope, to give you some comfort, and to meet if you've got practical needs that need to be met right now, just let us know, because that's what we want to do. We are not researchers, so we can't really figure out a cure to this virus, and we aren't medical professionals, so we can't put you on a ventilator. We aren't, most of us aren't chefs, so we can't really cook. but we can encourage you and love on you, and present opportunities for you to worship the Lord and worship with one another remotely, and just still, even if it is even if it is an artificial type of community, we can still have some type of legitimate connection through that digital space. And let us know how we can do it better. We are open to anything and everything that we can do to help serve you guys. Cool.
Do you
And I
have,
just say that I really, really appreciate the worship nights. That's wonderful. I'm glad
Oh,
you guys are
good.
doing
Good.
excellent. So,
I'm glad.
do you have a time for Friday yet?
So for Friday, what we're going to do, good question, Randy. Thinking about 2 p.m. for the rehearsal, 3 p.m. production meeting, and 3:30 p.m. we start recording. Does that work okay for you?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, good.
Matt, it's Elizabeth. Really
Yes,
quick.
Elizabeth, how are you?
Great. How are you?
Doing well.
Good. Speaking, I know you say you're here to serve us, but I mean, it's both ways here too. So if there's anything we can do, I mean, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I don't know if there's elderly people in the church that are needing grocery runs. I mean, anything. I mean, please know I'm here to help in that regard. I'm sure the team is with me in that, but yeah, if the church is in need of any assistance, please reach out.
Well, absolutely. That's fantastic, Elizabeth. And I really appreciate that. I know we are one of the things that a team of folks from our church, those who've gone online and kind of signed up for the Give Help section of the website. One of the things that they're doing this week is they've adopted the emergency room and the ICU at Anderson Hospital, and they're taking meals over to them this week. So I know that's one way that our church is stepping in to just meet some needs. And I believe also I don't know when they're doing it, but they've also been in the works with the Maryville Fire Department and the police department to be able to serve them and get some meals to those guys and first responders, guys and gals this week. So I know that there are ways. And, honestly, I think the big thing that I'm excited about all of this is that there are people in our community who now know where they can come when they need help. And we just want to be that tool to be here for them, to encourage them, and to be able to, and honestly, just to be able to provide gospel solutions to their problems, and to really encourage them that because Jesus is Lord, there is hope in the universe. And it doesn't matter what happens in our external circumstances, that he is king and his kingdom is coming swiftly and quickly into our present reality. And so that's just a really exciting time and a huge blessing from the Lord during this time. So, okay. Well, hey, one other thing I wanted to share with you guys real quick before we hop off here. We had one salvation this weekend, and one or two looking to get baptized. So that's good. Still fruit from our labors.
It's awesome.
Praise God for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, hey, I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. And if y'all need anything, you know how to get a hold of us.
Hey, everybody, unmute your mic really quick before we go. We got to sing happy birthday to Kelsey.
What?
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kelsey. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, guys.
That was horrible.
Fortunately, we're not in charge of the music for the church.
That's a scary precursor.
Brendan, that was very thoughtful. Thank you.
Brendan, did you have the high harmony on that?
Yes, yes, always.
Michael only
Now
ever
you
sees
know
the
how
heart.
the video stuff's gonna work.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm so scared.
All right, guys. Well, hey, y'all have a good night, and we'll see you next Monday night.
Thanks,
Good
Matt.
night.
Bye,
Sounds
everybody.
Bye,
good.
All
everyone.
right.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Kids.